G'day, boys and girls. Welcome to the Sheepish Goat, episode 3 of Stories of A Storyteller. How's it going? Nice to see you again. Today we're going to be doing a quick little intro here to give you an idea of what's going to be different about this video. I won't be doing it in every video, but there's a few things that I want to highlight for you just for clarification in case you're confused or getting wrong information potentially in the video. So the first part of the video, you'll see that we're telling the same story, but we're jumping between different clothes that we're wearing. So we told that same story twice because we actually did lose some footage the first day. So we recovered it, and then he told it twice, and he told a little bit different both times. So I combined both tellings of that story to give you kind of the best telling of that story. So I hope it isn't too distracting by the editing. I don't think it is, but just in case you're confused. And then later we talk about Germans from Russia. He doesn't provide a lot of detail on that, but some of it might be misleading or might be vague, so I probably will interject a little bit later just to give you a little bit more context about what that means and what the lineage actually represents. It's pretty cool. But yeah, that's it. So without further ado, enjoy the episode 3.
These are my stories about the farm.
When you guys were at home too, because I know you all spoke German, but did your parents only speak German to you at home?
Yes, oh yeah.
Yeah.
They always spoke German because, my butt's getting sore. That's okay, I want to use this now.
Okay.
But yeah, that's all they knew.
Oh, could they speak English at all?
No.
Really?
No, they didn't. No, it was always German. Well, actually, I had never heard my dad or ma speak English until Marilyn was born.
Yeah.
And Marilyn was born once we left. Actually, when we left in 1959, when we come home for Christmas, well, that's not that far from September. It's another 3 months, 4, 3.5. But anyways, we came home for Christmas, and shortly after Christmas, they called us. They said, we have a little sister. And then we were talking about it, me and Kenny and Sheen. How come we didn't see that when we were home? But we did for Christmas. So those days, it was kind of hard when women always wore them long dresses. And because the dresses, they wore that years, and women always wore dresses.
Yeah. Yeah.
They never wore pants.
Yeah.
The mas,
Yeah.
And a lot of women were kind of on the heavy side for some reason.
Yeah.
As I think back on the farm, a lot of mas were always kind of on the heavy side. And they always wore those long dresses. And when we were home for Christmas, we didn't even know our mom was pregnant.
Yeah.
And then in February, she called, or somebody called, and says, we have a baby sister. So once she started going to school, she couldn't speak English just like us.
Yeah.
But then they told her that, they told the parents that they have to talk English. But
Yeah.
so she had to talk English to the parents. And then as she got older, I come home my ma talking English. And so my dad was not very good at it.
Was that strange to come back and hear your mom speaking English for the first time?
Yeah. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Very much so, yeah. And Marilyn, I think, was the one that
Probably taught him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never really thought about it, but I will ask Marilyn if she taught parents how to speak English.
Yeah. She probably did, or they probably learned at the same time.
Yeah.
That would make a lot of sense.
Interjection 1. I spoke to Marilyn. As I said, these videos were recorded in the lead up to his birthday party, which a lot of his siblings were at. So I spoke to Marilyn, and I asked her if she had taught her parents English. And she thinks no, she didn't do that. From what she said, that they knew English. So my assumption, because I have no one to ask this, so if any of my other families watching and they know the answer, feel free to chime in. My assumption is that they knew English already to some extent, and maybe they couldn't speak it very well, but then probably with more of the kids speaking it, they gradually got better. Most likely when Marilyn was the only one there, because she would have been speaking English more regularly with them. She wouldn't have as many people to practice with, so maybe they learned English in conjunction with each other. Just a guess.
Did any of the other families, like, and I know you said some of the farmhouses were a little closer, but did any of the other families only speak German, or did they speak English more than your family?
No,
About the same?
they all spoke
Yeah.
German.
Yeah.
They all spoke German.
Yeah. Well, we talked about this before, and we don't have that footage, but you, like you said before, you guys were Germans from Russia, right?
Yeah.
Can you say a little bit about that? What you know?
Yeah, well, actually, Germans from Russia. That's where our ancestors came from.
Mm-hmm.
So the reason why they went there was this one lady, I can't remember her name. She said if we come there, we get free land, but that wasn't true. She lied. She must have been an important lady, you know.
She was Catherine the Great. Catherine II, Princess of Germany, Tsarina of Russia. But she's a dirty, rotten liar. Don't you believe a damn word she says.
But then there was 5 guys. One was a Baumgartner. One was a Bergen.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the other ones, but they took off and they came to Dakotas to come over
Yeah.
with the boat. And they had to go to Ellis Island and then go to towns in North Dakota.
Yeah. Looking for land.
And they actually went to Strasburg and Hake and Linton and Sealand. All those towns are 10 miles apart from each other. And they came back and says they can get land here. And that's how the people start coming.
Yeah. Because they were all still in Russia at the time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm going to do this as succinctly as possible, but there's a little bit of information to get through to explain what Germans from Russia are. I am going to be reading some sources, so here we go. The region surrounding the Black Sea port of Odessa, Russia, figures heavily in North Dakota's history. In the early 1900s, thousands of German Russians immigrated to the U.S., with large numbers settling in the state. It all began when the German-born Catherine the Great, who is Catherine II, Princess of Germany, married the future Tsar of Russia, Peter III, when she was 16. When she became Empress of Russia in 1762, Catherine issued a manifesto to her native Germany offering free land, financial help, and freedom for military service for Germans who would come to Russia to develop the land. So Germany was under strife, there was hardship with the land and the state of the country, so she offered them a olive branch, so to speak, to come to Russia instead, as she was herself German, and work the land there to help promote a better economy. In doing so, these Germans were free from general Russian lifestyles. They kind of got to live autonomously. Hundreds of thousands of Germans answered the call to leave the crop failures in Germany, as well as lack of living space and high taxes in Germany. By the end of the 1800s, the Germans had created thriving agricultural colonies. When Alexander II became Tsar, he then also wanted Germans to become Russian. So the Germans lived in Russia for, at this point, what they're saying 1800, when Alexander II came into being, they were there for about 40 years. In total, they were there about 100 years, and in that time, they tried to live fully autonomously, kind of doing their own thing, keeping their German identity, not immigrating with the rest of the Russian society. Now, there was the Crimean War that happened in Russia, in which I guess they were defeated. I'm not a history buff, but this is interesting. So they were defeated, and there were reforms basically brought into Russia, where they had serfs at the time. The serfs were then brought in, turned into essentially full citizens. However, there was weird equality because the Germans who kept their own autonomy were somehow still at a higher level than the serfs who had become Russian citizens. They had more privileges and freedoms that the Russians didn't even have. So they continued to try to turn the German Russians, or Germans from Russia, into Russian citizens. They tried to put them into the military. They tried to, Russification was the process, tried to prevent them from speaking German in schools and things of that nature, to which the Germans didn't like this. Let's just say that much. So the lives of the Germans living in Russia were increasingly threatened when Germans were forced into the Russian military to fight their native country. A new mass migration began, as I was saying, this time to the United States. Moreover, free land provided by the Homestead Act enticed many to move to the United States, especially the Great Plains states. By 1910, about 60,000 Germans from Russia, immigrants and their American-born children, lived in North Dakota. And from what I was reading, there's different numbers in different articles, but in general, they were saying about 100,000 Germans had moved to Russia and were living there kind of autonomously. So the Germans were able to go there. They did get land. They lived there for 100 years, and they lived kind of in their own utopia. They didn't have to be Russian. They got to be their own distinct form of German. Now, moreover, what's interesting, as I read in a different article, is that when the Germans came to America, some Germans were already here. Those were Germans who came specifically from Germany. So the Germans from Russia who came over and the actual real Germans didn't really get along. The Germans felt sort of superior to some extent because the Germans from Russia actually had a different dialect, and they didn't get along. They kind of kept their own segregated states, which is kind of interesting. So not only did they settle in like North Dakota, but they settled in Oklahoma and all kind of the middle plain type of state areas. So all super interesting. And yeah, that's the gist of Germans from Russia. There's a lot more details, but in a Cliff Note version, there you go.
But anyway, so when my grandpa came over, and of course my grandma too,
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think if they were married then.
At the time.
I think, I don't even know, but I don't know, but I think my dad was born over there. And I think he was 7 when he came here. But I'm not quite sure. For some reason, I think he was born in Russia.
Yeah.
Or maybe not. Yeah. I think maybe, I thought it was a worm. Maybe my dad's dad came over.
Yeah.
Maybe he had got all this land, and all he had to do was pay back tax on that land. Then it was your land.
Do you remember your grandparents' names?
My grandpa on my dad's side was Joseph, and grandma was, I forgot her name.
Yeah.
But anyway, so my grandma was part Jewish.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So they had to keep that kind of quiet.
You think that's why they left Germany?
No.
No.
But when they got married, they had to kind of keep that kind of hidden, I guess. I don't know why. Even when Grandma died, they put that in the paper, Jewish descent, and her daughters, which would be my dad's sisters, they was going to sue the Emmons County Record.
Really?
For doing that. But it was facts, it was the truth.
Right.
So how could they sue?
Huh.
They were so mad when they put that up in the paper.
That's really interesting.
But, I mean, they're not lying about it. It's the way it was.
Yeah.
They never wanted to be that person. Well, Donnie too, he didn't like that when he heard me say to when you talk to people, yeah, me and Donnie are part Jewish.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't like that. He says, why do you always say that? I says, Donnie, we are what we are. Are you afraid of your nationality? Or well, you don't have to tell them that we're Jewish. I says, I'll always tell them. Because that's who I am.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, but he never did.
Huh.
Yeah, I don't know why, but
So how many kids did your grandparents have?
I think they had 10.
They had 10.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And do you know where your dad fell in there?
Well, my dad was third.
Third.
So there was famous. He was very famous.
Yeah.
Wendland.
Who?
Wendland.
Wendland.
He was so well known.
So that was famous, his real name?
And then his younger brother gave him the name Famous. Because he was known all over.
Yeah.
Because he would just go all over with his horse or his tractor.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, he famous. And then his John, and then Adam.
Mm-hmm.
John died when he was 21. He had that flu.
Oh.
When that flu went around, they killed many people.
Huh.
What did they call that flu? It's influenza.
Influenza.
Yeah, that's what it was.
That's what he had.
And so many families lost. Many families lost somebody.
Oh, yeah.
So Dad says he was up in the hayloft when somebody came out, maybe younger kids from the house. It says, John is ready to die. He said he was like in shock. He didn't even take the stairs. He jumped down from the attic,
Wow.
from the
hayloft.
hey, yeah.
Wow.
And then now he as I'm getting older, he said people would come over, family. Oh my God, he looks just like John. Oh my God, he looks just like John. And I says, oh my God, am I gonna die young like John?
Oh, no.
You know, really, as a young boy,
Yeah.
you keep thinking.
Yeah.
And now when I see a picture of John, I don't know. Does he look like me? I don't know. But they said I look just like John.
Really? They said that when you were little?
Yeah. I heard that so many times, yeah. But it was not said in English, in German.
Do you know how that's it?
Da Luke brought me the John. The Hans, the John. Yeah. Yeah. Da Luke brought me. Yeah.
Can any of your siblings still speak German like you?
You know, I probably speak it the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, you always fought against speaking English in school, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I probably speak it better than anybody.
Mm. Would you still speak it with your mom when you were older, or no?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, always. Well, even now when we play cards, we used to do that a lot. We think of words. And I thought of many words and come to cards. And we would all do that. And I know I have many. Gene very seldom had a... Because Gene didn't talk it much no more once he got married to Irene.
Yeah.
See, I got married to Rosie,
Mm-hmm.
and she was German, so me and her kept talking German.
Yeah, you would talk German to each other?
Oh, yeah, all the time.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, all the time. Yeah. But Gene, now, he had to speak English because Irene didn't, you know. So I would think of a banger. So I come to cards and say, what's a banger? To you it wouldn't make much, but I'm just going to tell you
Yeah.
this. A bangel, nobody knew what a bangel was. A bangel is a stick.
It's just like a normal stick.
Yeah. Huh. A bonga. I thought of a bonga one day. I says, I got a name, I got a word. And I said, bonga. Nobody caught that. What is a bonga? It's a jar. Yeah. But sometimes some were pretty good at it. Well, there is 6 of us. Well, now 2 of them died, card players. Now, not so much no more, but I still think of words and bring them up.
Well, those words were probably you heard a lot because you said your dad used to find all the sticks and stuff in the around the farm, right?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Sticks, yeah.
Yeah, and then your mom would can and jar things all the time.
Yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah, it was always, they were used a lot, those names.
Yeah.
Willie, go get me some more bongas. Yeah. They were in the cellar.
Yeah.
Yeah, once you empty them, you would clean them and make sure you put the lid back on.
Mm-hmm.
And if you didn't put the lid back on, spiders would go in there. You know?
Mm-hmm.
So you always put the lid on.
Mom mentioned that Grandma used to sing to you guys in German when you were little.
Huh?
My mom, she mentioned that Grandma would sing to you when you were little too, in German, right?
Sing to, oh yeah.
Yeah.
When we were little.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She would sing you songs?
She would sing us songs like when we were little, but then as we got bigger, I heard them songs a lot.
Really?
Because she would sing it to the younger ones.
Oh, really?
To
like your kids or who?
Not so much my kids, but my younger brothers and sisters.
Oh, I see.
Would she sing it to my kids? If she did, she could have if they were crying. Could have. But it was German, and it was about the sheep.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember how it goes?
Oh, yeah.
Would you sing it?
Yes. So she would hold the baby and rock it, and she would say, Schlaf, Kinderle, schlaf. Garde sind 6 Schof. 3 schwarze, 3 weiße. Die Wände des Kinderle beiße. Schlaf, Kinderle, schlaf. Then she would start over. So in the garden there is 6 sheep. They want to bite this baby. They want to bite this baby. Schlaf, yeah, sleep, baby, sleep. In the garden there is 6 sheep. 3 black ones, 3 white ones. They want to bite this baby. Sleep, babies. And the babies, just the voice would make that baby go to sleep. And I think every ma did that.
That same song?
Yeah.
Really?
Uh-huh. And so I heard that song a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think I probably could have sang that to my girls. Most likely I probably did.
Yeah. Would she only sing like that to put you guys to sleep? Like like a little nursery rhyme?
Mm-hmm. That's probably the only song that I ever heard her sing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Joseph M. Fischer. He was born August 15th, 1879 in South Russia. He died on February 5th, 1963 in Lytton, North Dakota. On the right is Christina Eichenlaub, or Christina Fischer. She was born December 24th, 1884 in South Russia and died on January 7th, 1965 in Strasburg, North Dakota. They were married in November 1904 in St. John's Catholic Church, north of Zeeland, North Dakota. These are my grandpa's grandparents, or my great-great-grandparents. From oldest to youngest, their children are Wendelin, John, Adam, my grandpa's father, Helen, Martin, Elizabeth, Leo, and Eugenia. As my grandpa mentioned, John died when he was 21, but he actually died of tuberculosis, not influenza. He's in the middle, third from the left.
And now when I see a picture of John, I don't know. Does he look like me?
Oh, you know what? Before we start, I wanted to do something. I want you to do this on the bar, because it'll look good for our thumbnail.
Okay. Just like this.
Yep. And I want you to look right at the camera, just for a couple of seconds.
That's
right
that's
here.
the camera.
That's the camera.
Oh, that's the camera.
Yep. And just look for a couple seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.